So this month we've been talking about how to research your next locality, how to find these places you might look for fossils, or this is applicable to really anything. Um, and one of the great resources out there is all these old great papers. And this is a 1928 paper. There's all sorts of stuff from every state, from the USGS, all sorts of stuff available for free out there on the internet. And if you really dig into some of these old papers, you find that they list all sorts of localities for everything that they turned up. That was their job, was to report everything they found and where they found it. And so, this is just for some particular county in Missouri. And I just wanted to show you an example here. So they're talking about, this particular formation, and they say, oh, well, if you want to find this coral columnaria with this sponge distactospongia, okay, well, here's a locality within the Platte where you can do that. But what is this? That is not latitude and longitude. And if you haven't seen it, or, if it's not familiar, it's hard to even know how to look up what to do with that. But this is the system that was used for decades, very dependably by all sorts of authors working within the U.S. and in other parts of the world. And it's called the Township and Range system. And the way that this reads is, it's on the south line. We'll talk about the lines of the southeast 1/4 of the southwest 1/4 of section 31 of Township 37 North, Range 9 East. If you get the sense of that, so many north and so many east, it's kind of like latitude and longitude, which it is, but it's not based on a global grid the way our modern system is, because at the time, surveyors had to base everything on local surveying lines. And just to introduce you to some of that, here's a great little document I found on the web about the history of this system and how it works. And the surveyors had to set up these baselines in every state of, okay, what are we going to call zero? And, where are we going to start measuring? And so all these baselines got set up long time ago, but were kept as the baselines for a long time. And then to measure away from these baselines, if you have a baseline here and you say, oh, well, it is, 3 townships north and 4 ranges east, right? You can figure out which of these boxes you're in if you know where the baseline is, if you know where the principal meridian is as far as range goes. So again, townships measure north and south, and they're measured, 3 townships north would be T3N, 4 townships south would be T4S, and similar with E and W for range. Each of these boxes, right, each township over is 6 miles over, or 6 miles by 6 miles for one of these little boxes. Okay, so that gives us a rough, if you know which township and range you're in, you're in which box, which 36 square mile box. But within that, you want to know which of those 36 square miles, that's called the section. And the other sections are always numbered the same way. I always start in the right top corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you zigzag around, which is sort of weird, but there's reasons why they did that. So if you're ever, it's ever section 33, that's always the one right here, no matter what township and range you're in. So that's how the basic system works. It divides up further. If you're within a section, you can talk about, are you within the northeast quarter of that section, so on and so forth. But you've probably seen this all before and just didn't notice it. If you've ever looked at a topo map, these squares have red numbers sitting in the middle of them. Ever see those? Those are the township and range. Sorry, those are the section numbers. So here we are again, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36 is off the map, and then down in the next township, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Just like it's supposed to work. So you've seen it before, never needed to use it, but when you're dealing with these old papers, what are you going to do? You have to figure out a way to process this information and make it useful for yourself. So I'm just going to do a quick copy and paste here so that I remember what we've been given. We were told this information, And I'm going to take this into a converter that will bring it into a modern system of location. So this is a great web page from Michigan State with all sorts of mapping tools. I'm just going to use this one here that says Convert Public Land Survey System, or PLSS. And again, it's called Township Range Section, TRS, it's sometimes called. Convert it to latitude, longitude, great. And why do I like latitude and longitude? Because Google Maps can accept it. And then I can just store it in my phone in Google Maps. So just bringing up this tool, and it's hosted by EarthPoint. I'm just going to write down up here what I was given. That didn't come across. I'll have to go back to get the section, the quarters. But we were told section 31, T37 north, range 9 east, and again, where were we? I forget. I think we were in Missouri, right? And we have to know that because the baselines are different in every state. Yes, we're in Missouri. So going back here. What state? Missouri. There is only one principal meridian in Missouri, so I don't have to worry about knowing which one is which. And again, township, I was told 37 north. And range 9 east. Right? Not west, east. Section 31. Great. Excuse me. So we've got our information in here. And now we can view. I'm going to do this fun one called Fly To on Google Earth. And so what it does is downloads a KML. It's a Google Earth file. And now if I click on that, Google Earth should fly me directly to the location that I'm looking for my sponge and my coral. Very cool. So, what is this telling me? This orange outline gives me the entirety of T37 North, R9 East. That's the Township and Range. That's the 6 mile by 6 mile block. And let me go back and look at this. I thought we asked for section 31. Oh yeah, section 31, that's right. It'll be down in the corner. So, where did I put that now? Oh right, Google Earth. So section 31, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 24. This is giving us section 31. So, this is getting us pretty close, and it's giving me the context of the entire county. You can see the city of St. Genevieve up here, but the place I'm looking for is down in this particular section. So zooming in a little bit. Now, what were we told again? It was, I got to go back to the original. Southeast quarter of the southwest quarter. And sometimes that of is missing, but it still means, you still read it the same way. The first thing, southeast quarter of the southwest quarter. Because if you get those backwards, you'll end up in the wrong spot. So the southeast quarter of the southwest quarter here in Google Earth. So the southwest quarter is this part here. And then the southeast quarter of that is just this part here. And it said it was on the south line? Is that what it said? Yep. On the hill on the south line. Well, guess what? There's the hill on the south line of the southeast quarter of the southwest quarter of this section of this township and range from Missouri. So it really gets you, surprisingly precise with where you're trying to find. And it does a very respectable job, given that we really didn't have global latitude and longitude, to say nothing of GPS, right? To talk about where we are. So this little hill is where we find that sponge and that coral. So I really like this. And again, if I want to grab those coordinates, right, this is telling me everything that it put down, centroid value and all that stuff. We can also grab these values if we want to just use plain old Google Maps. This will just be the centroid of the section. I'm going to go back to Google Maps for a second and just show how you can input it there. I don't know if you knew that you could just put in longitude and latitude, and it'll bring it right up. Notice that for west longitude, we use the minus sign. That's a convention. Well, there it is. That's our spot according to Google Maps. I don't know, that should be the same. So now we've got it. And if you want it in degrees, minutes, seconds, it's right there. But remember, if you're on your cell phone, you're going to have a tough time typing degrees, minutes, seconds, right? How are you going to find the degree symbol on your phone? So it's nice to have it stored as decimal degrees of longitude and latitude. And then you can save it. You can do whatever you want. But the point of all this is, understanding what this is and, knowing the tools to move it from this form into something you can really work with. I can set my directions right now to head to here if I want to, right? I just had to know that longitude and latitude, and I'm getting there. So, thanks for staying with this really awkward historical process of, understanding how all this fits together. And there's lots more to know about the system, but just knowing how to navigate it is what is really helpful, because then all these old papers become really treasure troves for locality information that you can just go ahead and use. So good hunting, and thanks for joining.